Hey, everybody, please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you very much. Chris Speaks here tonight with Lane McCollum, who just qualified for president of the Public Service Commission to challenge Twinkle Cavanaugh, who is going for her now fifth term on the PSC board at one spot or another. Lane, how are you, man?
Oh, well, you got to be sure it's Robert McCollum on the ballot, and I'm doing good.
Okay, and I think, well, good, man. So what made you decide to jump in this thing against her, man?
Well, because they continue to lie, they continue to rip off the ratepayers and the consumers year after year, coming out telling this charade that they're fighting the liberal Biden agenda, which really what they're doing is just saying what they think people want to hear, saying just enough to get elected, and then once they get elected, they screw over the consumer year after year, raising their rates at a time when interest rates are through the roof, at a time when groceries are through the roof, at a time when inflation is just through the roof, and you got these families that's on these fixed incomes. This truly hurts them.
Yeah, it's funny you said that about the fighting the liberal Biden agenda. What exactly does that mean? I mean, is this just something people are, they're just throwing out there, and people are just buying this line of garbage?
Well, if you look at the previous election since 2014 up, they have believed this garbage year after year after year. And they have yet to wake up and see that it's a charade. They continue to vote for these people, and then they fuss about their power bills being high month after month after month. You ever heard of saying you get what you deserve?
Yeah.
Well, they have candidates year after year who's ready to address these issues, and when it comes down to it, the candidates are abandoned at the ballot box. So, in my opinion, if they continue to reelect these people, they're going to get nothing but more rate increases, and if they continue to do it, honestly, they get what they deserve.
I have to agree with you. Has Twinkle Cavanaugh ever voted against a rate increase?
No, and she just lied to the legislature about Alabama Power's profit margin.
Yeah, I just did a piece on that a few weeks back, where she said she'd cut it from like 13 to 6. Like, no, you haven't. I've asked a former government official, I'm not gonna call his name, if that was illegal. And he said, well, yeah, that's a good question. He wasn't sure because, if this was before Congress, she'd be facing a criminal charge right now.
She would be, but where you have it in Alabama, which Alabama is already considered one of the most corrupt states in the United States.
Now, is it in 2022, 2 days after Commissioners Baker and Odin secured re-election, did they not raise rates then again?
Yes, that was the biggest slap in the face to voters I have ever seen. That right there should tell the voters that their whole campaign message about them fighting the Biden agenda is, well, total bullshit.
What do you remember what reasons they give for raising the rates?
Cost of fuel, and if I'm not mistaken, the cost of fuel has went down since then.
I think at that time it actually dropped about 80 cents. Yeah,
it did, and that was their excuse for the 4 rate increases that they have had up to this point, and fuel has dropped time after time again since then. And you look at their overage undercharges, which is the hidden tax, just last year alone was $23 million.
$23 million. And for those people who don't know, that's the amount that they're overcharging each month to the consumer. That Twinkle Cavanaugh comes at the end of the year and says, I gave this money back to the general fund, right? Well, she never got money from there to begin with.
Mm-hmm. She got the money from the ratepayers.
This lying to the legislature seems to be, we've seen numerous times, go through countless things that Twinkle's lied about, but it seems to be a pattern of her whole career. Does it go back to when she was deputy chief of staff under Raleigh?
That does go back to when she was deputy chief of staff under Riley.
Yeah. I remember caught up in a big, vast Indian casino money laundering gig. Somehow they got out of.
Mm-hmm. If
So,
everybody will look back in history, Twinkle was tied up with Abramoff, Riley, and that whole scam.
yeah, quickly how people forget that. So we got the there was something else I was wanting to ask you about that had to go on. So have you ever looked into? Oh yeah, I was going to touch on the rate increases. Have you ever had a chance to look and see how many rate increases that's been done while she's been in office? Or I mean, how hard would that be to figure that out?
I have not. That would be something that would definitely be needed to check into, and there should be a record on that.
Yeah, I think you can go through the meetings and find that. What about these they have closed rate hearings. What exactly takes place there? They go behind closed doors and Alabama Power asks for a raise and then poof, they get it?
Well, here's what it's called. It's called an informal rate hearing, where Alabama Power executives come in with their lawyers and everything. They do not have to take an oath on the Bible. They can get up there and say what they want without the fear of perjury, which is lying under oath.
And I mean, why do you think the reason they are getting all these rate increases every time they turn around? I touched on something in an article this a few weeks ago that I thought hit dead on.
Well, the PSC is owned by Alabama Power. I just haven't been able to find the bill of sale yet.
Well, let's talk about. I wrote something on the performance payment program.
There is a program called that Alabama Power does called a pay performance plan, where what they do is every March they pay out bonuses to all of the employees, which is 25 to 50% of their salary. I know one teller alone received a $9,000 bonus. You look at company executives that are receiving these millions of dollars in bonuses.
From the article I put out, the lowest paid employee got it made $29 an hour. They got an $8,000 bonus, and the chief executive officer and president got $4 million in bonuses and stock options for 1 year alone.
Mm-hmm. And then they run to the PSC and say, "Well, we need a rate increase. We're not making enough on our profit." Well, they're hiding their profit by paying out all these bonuses. And the PSC knows all about it. And the other news medias know all about it, but they're scared to run an article on it because they're scared of the consequences of the power company pulling their advertisement.
Yeah,
you look at
people and nobody would take it.
And you look at it this way. All right, the state of Alabama. What does Alabama Power need advertising for? They have the monopoly on power in the state. These advertisements are nothing more than purchasing favors.
Yeah, that's a good point. I never thought about that. Why are they running advertisements when they got a monopoly on everything?
And why would you advertise?
Huh.
What they're doing is buying favorable coverage with the different news groups in the state.
Yeah, when I tried to get to Yellowhammer News, who was one of their mouthpieces, and then Alabama Today by April Marie Fogel's paper. Both of them was told the reporter no, they could not run that story they had.
Well, you got to remember two things. you got to remember, one, the owner of Yellowhammer News is also Twinkle's campaign manager.
Paul
'Cause he's-
Fesci.
So he's not going to print negative coverage on Twinkle in any way. And if you remember, April Marie Fogel's husband is a partner at Matrix, which is Alabama Power's hit dog.
What else would you expect from a pig than a grunt? So how are you going to win this race?
My plan is to go directly to the voters and state the facts that are happening, and I will leave the opinions up to them at the ballot boxes. If they want to vote for Twinkle, then they get what they deserve. If they want to vote for me, they'll get 4 years of honesty at the PSC.
So you're coming to battle.
Coming to battle, but day one.
Game on. Robert, thanks a lot, man. I'll have you back on very soon.
Thank you.